Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to our YouTube live stream. My name is Glenn Tompkins, Senior Instructor here at VectorVest, and we are doing Trending Thursday. Glad that you're here. For those people who are new, now you can assign a face to the picture, to the voice, right? A face to the voice. Glad that you're here. If you're new, I want you to type hi in the room. If you're new, I want you to type hi in the room. H-I, not H-I-G-H. That's a whole different hi. But if you're new to the room, I want you to type a hi, H-I to the room. And everybody can see everybody's chat in here, unlike what we do in the Jockey Club. So Saborium says, Trending Thursday on Thursday. Oh my gosh, that's right, it's on Thursday. Who else is here? Jay is here. Jay is always talking in the background. Jay always talks. Now you can see how much Jay talks in the chat because you'll see it. And that's right, Jay. Type an ouch if you want to, but you can now see. Don't put that in there, Jay, because they can see it. So Alex is new. Vince is new. Rajiv is new. Fernando is new. Jake, are you sure you're new? And Jay also put hi, the wrong hi. I knew that he would. And no, I don't have my sunglasses on. My eyes are now better. This morning, though, when I came in for the Jockey Club, my eyes were dilated. I showed Joey. Joey said, man, you look like you high. I'm like, Joey, I've never been high. So, well, I've only had it once. It only happened in my lifetime, but I didn't inhale. Anyway, to the right, sitting side saddle to me is Joey. Say hi, Joey.
Hi.
He is my producer. He's the guy that sits on the sidelines, and he helps me to look really good. He's got a very small job to do because I look marvelous. But it's because of Jay as well. And I know you weren't, Brian. I knew you weren't new. Go Patriots, I knew. And no Patriots fan alive. Gene, welcome. Another hi in the room, and I love that. Job says, now wait a minute. The essence of truth? Never. So we're going to have a lot of fun. For those people who are here new, we will have a lot of fun, but there's going to be a lot of information. And again, if you're new, you now get to tie the face and the persona with the voice. So there you go. Jerome is new. Good afternoon. Saying hi as well. Kev says, to make you good, look good, good luck. Joey does a good job, though. Thank you. High five, Joey.
Full-time job.
High five. That's you know, we go out to lunch together. We're at each other's, well, we've never been to each other's houses, but we do spend some time together. We try to bond a little bit. What happened to Twitch, says Jerome, we moved from Twitch over to YouTube. So we're trying to now grow our YouTube footprint. All right. And at some point in time, Joey, you think we might go back to Twitch, maybe? He says yes, we might be going back. So, and Paul says, I'm old. Can I say hi now? Yes, you can. Everybody else who wants to join in and say hi, say hi. I love the interaction. So the more you interact, the more fun this becomes. But as I mentioned, everyone can see your type in here, as opposed to the Jockey Club where we can't see what you type. So be mindful of what you say. And that's specifically for Jay. That's specifically for Jay. So can we look at the stock ouch? There's no such thing as a stock ouch. Hey, look it up in Vector. Can you look it up? Look up, see if there's really a stock called ouch. All right. For those of you who are new as well, don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. We're going to grow this YouTube page, but that's only going to happen because of you. So don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. And another thing, when Joey puts these videos out, because they're recorded, when he puts those videos out, folks, go out and comment on those videos. Tell people what you feel about VectorVest so that when people who are not subscribers to the software look at our YouTube channel, let them know what you think about the software. You may make the difference between someone subscribing, taking a subscription to software, or not. So if you love what we do here at VectorVest, let people know. Please comment. I want to grow our comments on our channel, and that only happens with you guys. Saborium says it's PG-13, so there you go. Jay is mad whack. Say again?
No stock name ouch.
No, there is no stock name out. So, all right, so see, I know you was messing with me. And Jay says, let's hear a big ooh-wee. Before we get started, if you don't mind, remember, I'm telling you, I'm trying to get ooh-wee to go viral. Before we get started, put those hands together and go ooh-wee, and we're going to get started. So, put those ooh-wees. I want to see the ooh-wees come up. If I don't see any ooh-wees, I'm not going to start. So how about that? I can sit here. Let's go see who's going to...
Turn this off at 3.
You're going to turn this... Wow, Joey's trying to make me say... He's making sure I stay on target. All right, so if I get the ooh-wees, I don't. If I don't, if I do, I do. If I don't, I don't. All right, because there we go. They're coming across now. We got a little bit of a delay.
About 10 seconds.
About 10-second delay. Okay, that's fine. There's the ooh-wees coming in. All right, so what we're going to do, we always start off Trending Thursday from a market overview perspective. Let's always know what's going on in the market. Before you pull the triggers, now the ooh-wees are coming in. Thank you for that. Before you do anything in the market, you've got to know what's going on. So I always start off with the home page of the VectorVest software. All right, there we are. We do this every night in the Daily Color Guard Report. We do it on Fridays in the Timing the Market. But for those of you who may not be VectorVest subscribers, we always look at what's going on in the market before we pull the trigger on any trade. When you open up the VectorVest software, this is the home page, and it gives you a lot of great information as to what's going on before you even enter from the home page into the software. We can clearly see that with today's activity, what the major indices are doing. We have a mixed market. The Dow is slightly down, the NASDAQ slightly down, the S&P slightly up, our VectorVest composite slightly up. Nothing is running away in either direction. It tells me that today we have a flat day in the market. What do you do on a flat day? You manage the trades that you have. All right? This is not a day to add new trades. This is not a day to frantically panic sell. Let the stops manage the trades that you have. And I can just look at the major indices. Today is a flat day, slightly down, slightly up, but all of the major indices are very lightly up or very lightly down in a mixed market. We can look at our color guard. Our color guard has a lot of yellow in it. That helps to back up the notion that you should be just managing the trades. Nothing is saying full bore, go short. Nothing is telling you full bore, go buy new positions. Notice that the primary wave is down for now the last 3 trading days. That is the fastest indicator that we have within the software. And right now, it's not being substantiated by any red lights in the color guard pricing column. So today is a day, recently is the time to just slow down in your investing. Let your stops manage the trade. Let the stops manage the trades. Do not panic. I don't care what you hear on TV. I don't care what your neighbor tells you. I don't even care what your mama-in-law tell you. What you need to do right now is just slow down in your investing, and a tool like VectorVest helps to substantiate the idea that you just manage the trades that you have. So Audie says, hello, Glenn. Good afternoon, Audie. So still new people, Joey needs a haircut. How do you see Joey? How do you think Joey doesn't need a hair? How do you? You don't need a haircut. Joey's hair looks fine. You can't even see Joey. I see Joey. I might need a haircut, but Joey doesn't need a haircut. All right, so let's talk about what's making the market like it is. We all know that this is a news-driven market. 2 things that are moving the market right now. Right now, the biggest thing is the tariffs. All right, and the tariffs on a good day, somebody says, hey, China and U.S. will come to the table, we'll have a good up day. Anything that says, well, China and U.S. may not come to the table, or the president is going to enforce more tariffs, we're going to have a bad day. Well, today we didn't get much in the way of tweets, so the market is just settling into moving flat. So let's start off with our first news story. We're going to start off with, not Alibaba, we're going to start off with what's going on in the market. And this was a couple of days ago. Trump says the trade war with China could drag on. President's comments send stocks skidding, but could be bargaining tactic as deadline looms for the tariffs on consumer goods. All right, so let's scroll down a little bit more. President Trump said he was willing to wait until after next year's presidential election to strike a limited trade deal with China. Interesting in the words that he used. And I think that he's already gotten in his mind that he's going to win. We don't know. But in his mind, he says he might wait until after the presidential election to strike. The only way that he could do it after the presidential election is if he remains president, right? Sending stock prices down and casting doubt on whether the two sides will find enough common ground to head off new tariffs. So let's take a look at how this kind of news is affecting what we look at for gauging what's going on in the market. I'm going to get into the software, and I'm going to go to our watch list of stocks that we're going to look at today. Where's that? Right there. Boom. Is that the one I want, Joey?
Yep.
All right. So I don't want the stock viewer. I want our watch list. We're going to go to the Trending Thursday. Here's our stocks that we're going to talk about today. In this watch list, we have 18 stocks, all right? But they're going to be in subsets. So the first thing we're going to look at is what the news about the tariffs, how that's affecting the market. And the two ticker symbols that I'm going to look at for that are going to be the VVC, which is the VectorVest composite, and then I'm also going to look at the SPY, or the S&P 500. So let's go take a look at these two graphs to get an idea of the news about the tariffs, how it's affecting the market. How did that just happen? Stop touching my machine, Joey. Spiders, VVC, right click. Let's view the stock graph. Let's move this over. Notice that my graph is pretty simple. I'm looking at the S&P 500. This is what the majority of people will use, especially if you don't have VectorVest, to gauge what's going on in the market. On my graph, I do have a 20-day exponential moving average, which is depicted by this purple line. You can see that the market has been going up nicely. With the news about the more tariffs, the market fell below the 20-day exponential moving average. But look at that. We bounced back above, over the last couple of days. Today, as you can see, the S&P 500 has got a closed bar. Let's put this on a 3-month graph. We've got a closed bar, but we are still, with today's wick, above the 20-day exponential moving average on the spiders. So we're still in a situation where the spiders went from a buy to a hold, but still a little bit more bullishness, nonetheless, above the 20-day exponential moving average. Let's move over to the VectorVest composite, which tracks the move of about 8,300 stocks. Same kind of scenario. This tracks the move of about 8,300 stocks, where the S&P tracks the move of 500 stocks. We feel that the VectorVest composite is a better representation of the broad market move. This is why we use it for market timing. Now, Jay says, where did you get these stocks from? These are the stocks that I choose every week that are in the news to put into this watch list. We create this watch list every week of the stocks that we're going to talk about from a news perspective. Saborian says, trade your plan your trades. Absolutely. So based upon what we see right now, the VectorVest composite did the same thing, closed below the 20-day exponential moving average a couple of days ago, but look at it, bounced back above. Look at the earnings per share on the VectorVest composite, still overall higher than it was 3 months ago. Earnings as a whole is still rising. We are getting into, well, we're in the last part of any other stocks that are coming out with earnings, so we're finishing up the last part of Q3 earning reports. And in January, we start all over again with a fresh new earnings, but it's going to be for Q4 of this year. So overall, the market is still above the 20-day. Look at that general rule of thumb. As we're looking at the VectorVest composite, using this as a moving average, if it's above the 20-day exponential, it's okay to be in the market. And it does a good job of performing for you some semblance of a level of support, all right, for the VectorVest composite, as well for the S&P 500. So even though the news talks about what we're going to do with the tariffs, the market still has a little bit more of a bullish tone to it from this perspective. Market's still moving higher. To say that we're still in an uptrend in the market, we need to be taking out this most recent high, but still trending higher from this low back in early October. So that's how the tariffs are affecting the market. And there we go. That's our first story. Does anybody have any questions? All right, let's just take a look. Dems going to impeach Trump and market shrugs. Well, you know, again, one thing that we won't do in here, we won't talk about politics. I'll talk about religion, but we won't. So maybe okay. Reconnection. It says reconnection is successful. Dear, where'd you go? Joff, can you see me yet? When you can see me and hear me, let me know. Joey's working on it.
Probably have to refresh.
All right, so if you still don't see me, refresh your screen. Refresh your screen. All right, anybody who still doesn't see me, Joey broke it. Joey broke the internet. He's like Wreck-It Ralph. All right, Michael says I'm back on. I see you. Good. So everyone can see me once again. That's great. Jake said he got scared. It's all right, Jake. I got you. I'm a Marine. I got you. Ain't nobody going to hurt nobody in this room while I'm here. All right? I thought you booted me. I would never boot you, Paul. That would never happen. Badger said, I hit the refresh. Now I can herd Glenn again. Wow, you really are in the stick somewhere, aren't you? He says he can herd Glenn again. Woo! All right, way to go, Tom. Way to go, Tom. All right, so let's talk about some of the stores that did really, really well. Target, Best Buy, Lululemon. Let's scroll down a little bit. Target, Best Buy, and Lululemon are among the winners from the record-breaking holiday shopping weekend. Every year it's record-breaking. I'm wondering when we're going to have a year when it's not record-breaking, but the internet is what it is, and I think we're going to consistently keep getting better every year as far as online sales, as far as store sales. It is just going to be what it's going to be. What about Costco? Earnings next week. Jerome, I'll take a look at Costco. I didn't put it in my list, but for you, I will put it in as one of my stocks to take a look at. All right, so they did well. Let's take a look at some of these stores in the software. What I have, there's Lululemon, and actually, just for you, Jerome, I'm going to add Costco. C-O-S-T. Let's add Costco. Let's analyze all of the stores. All right, all of these stores. Let's analyze them real quick. There's Lululemon. There's Best Buy, there's Target, there's Costco. Was that all of them? No, I wanted Walmart as well. And that should be them. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stores getting hyped up for the Christmas season. Lululemon, a little bit overvalued. Doesn't make it a bad stock. It means that people are willing to pay a premium to own the stock. Best Buy, undervalued. That's what you most likely really want, because our idea is to have you in safe, undervalued stocks that are rising in price in a rising market. I'm going to hold off on Alibaba because I have Alibaba with Amazon. So we're going to come back to Alibaba, Jay. We're going to come back to Alibaba. All right, Best Buy, Target, undervalued as well. Costco, a little bit overvalued like Lululemon is. People are just willing to pay a premium to own Costco. And Walmart, also overvalued. Because the stocks are overvalued, though, doesn't make them a bad thing. Now, let's really analyze them with the VectorVest indicators. Lululemon has good upside potential by way of RV. RV looks at a stock's upside potential compared to a AAA corporate bond. Would I rather own the stock or the bond over the next 1 to 3 years? Lululemon is poised to outpace a AAA corporate bond by 39% over the next 1 to 3 years. Long term, I would like to hold Lululemon. Best Buy is going to outperform that AAA corporate bond by 35% over the next 1 to 3 years. Long term, I would like to have Best Buy. Target, still, same thing. Good upside potential. Costco, same thing. Now, Costco is the least the least amount to overperform a AAA corporate bond, only at 1.07, and Walmart at 1.13, but they're all good long term. Let's look at their safeties. Lulu, good, safe stock. This tells me that when earnings comes out, it should meet or exceed its earnings expectation, because relative safety looks at a stock's, it's a risk factor of the stock, looks at how risky the stock is, and it looks at the consistency and predictability of a company's financial performance. So Lululemon, good, safe stock. Best Buy, safe stock. Target, safe stock. Costco, really safe stock, just like Lululemon. Look at those as far as safety. Lululemon and Costco have really good relative safety. So someone said that Costco's earnings come out next week, I'm going to tell you that it's going to have a high probability of meeting or exceeding its earnings expectations. I do not have an indicator, though, that shows forward guidance. Forward guidance may be bad and may pull the stock's price down, but I'm going to tell you it's going to have a very high probability of meeting or exceeding its earnings, and Walmart above 1. Now, relative timing. Let's see which ones of these stocks are moving up the fastest. Relative timing looks at the short-term price trend of a stock. Lululemon really moving up higher. Out of the 5 stocks, Lululemon is moving up the fastest, followed by Best Buy at 1.25, also in an uptrend. Now notice that Costco and Walmart, though, right now are not in uptrends. The prices are not moving up fast enough to be in an uptrend. But the fundamentals behind the stocks, that with the RTs are below 1, the fundamentals are there, but it's not moving up. So if I'm looking at what stock in this list is the best for me to think about getting into, I like Lululemon. I like Best Buy, because as I look at the VSTs, this list is sorted by VSTs. I want to find the stocks that have the best OBS, or is it? It says reconnection is successful. So hopefully it came back again. All right, so OBS, it reconnected. All right. Let's see, can you hear me yet? If you can, they can hear me now? All right, Michael. When you ask why do I say that Costco is going to meet or exceed earnings, look at the relative safety. The relative safety on the stock is above the value of 1. Relative safety is one of our core proprietary indicators that looks at consistency and predictability of a company's financial performance. This is a nice high number, so I'm going to tell you that this stock should meet or exceed its earnings expectations. Now, forward guidance. I've got nothing on forward guidance. So with that, all right, now it reconnected, you guys. That was interesting. It's back again. I don't know what happened. All right, don't quit, Jake. Don't quit. I can hear you and see you again. Thank you, Tom. Hopefully, though, I've been able to answer Michael's question. I've answered it twice. I just don't know if it came back across. But Michael, the whole idea of, I'll do it again, why I think that Costco will meet or exceed its earnings is because of that indicator relative safety. Shows me that the stock consistently meets or exceeds its earnings expectations. So it's got a high probability of meeting or beating its earnings expectations. So Michael, did that help you? Hopefully it did. Hopefully you did. All right, are we still good right now, Joey? We're still good. All right. You're welcome, sir. All right, let's take a look at these graphs real quick. So these are the stocks that we're looking at from a retail perspective. Let's move the graphs over. I like Lululemon. Look at that equity curve. Look at that equity curve. If I'm looking at a stock in this space, Lululemon looks really good. 3-month graph above the 20-day exponential moving average, about to get close to the 3-month high. Love this graph. Let's go to the next one. Best Buy looks good. It's got a stronger pullback from its high, but never bounced below the 20-day. It bounced, and Lulu's been good to me, says Paul. Lulu is one of the better stocks in this space. Best Buy could be resurging again, coming off the zone of the 20-day exponential moving average. Look at the earnings per share. Looks really good. Now, Target. I like Target, but it's definitely pulling back as compared to the other stores. Still, earnings per share looks good. All right, still earnings per share looks good. But watch the stock's prices pulling back. It's not below the 20-day exponential as well. And you know something, Costco, wow, Costco is tough. Costco is tough. So I guess Michael's question is, by looking at the stock's price movement, why did I think that Costco is going to meet earnings? And again, because of that relative safety indicator, it should meet or exceed earnings. But forward guidance is what's going to really move the stock, Michael. That's what's going to move the stock. But earnings-wise, look at the earnings per share. Our forecasted earnings per share, Michael. Earnings growth rate is probably really good as well. So it's still going to have a good opportunity to meet or exceed earnings. It's going to be forward guidance, which is going to make or break the move on the stock. Hopefully that makes sense, Michael. Hopefully that makes sense. And the last stock that we're going to look at is Walmart. Out of all of these stocks, this is the one that's moving sideways, currently below the 20-day, but look at that. What's that candlestick formation? Just in case I don't want to slow you up, that is a hammer. Hammer right at a level of support. Interesting. Look at that. Oh, that's not the one I wanted. A hammer right at support. Look at that, folks. That may be setting up for a reversal. All right, let me make the line a little darker. That definitely may be setting up for a reversal. Keep your eye on Walmart. And I think that the holiday seasons will bolster Walmart. That's a good level of support sitting at 116.93. Hammer formation. Thinking about hopefully the stock's price breaking back above the 20-day exponential. But you do have a level of support sitting at 116.93. All right. There we go. So that is on my retail stores. Does anybody have any questions? All right, that is on my retail stores. And these are, why is that important? Because we're coming into the holiday season. These are the stocks where people are going to be buying their Christmas gifts. This is what's going to happen. I have to check out the performance graphs. We mentioned them early. Let me see if I can pull up a performance graph real quick. Graph, stock. Let's go put on, what was it, Walmart. Let's change this to a performance graph. I'm going to do this real quick. Take that off. Add a stock, Walmart. We're going to add Target. We're going to add Costco. What were the other ones? Viewers. Costco, Best Buy, and Walmart. No, Best Buy, and Lulu. Best Buy and Lulu. All right, so let's go put in BBY, and Lulu. LULU, Lululemon. There they are. I'm going to take off the VectorVest composite, put it on a 1 year. We can see which one is really outperforming all of them. And right now, on a 1 year graph, it's Target. On a 1 year graph, it's Target. Let's move it into a 6-month graph. Still Target. Lululemon, which I like the most, Target is still outperforming. Put on a 3-month graph. And now look at that, Best Buy and Lululemon at the top. So why is that important to determine your time frame? What are you trying to do? If you're trying to be longer term on the stock, Target is the better way to go over the last year. Target is outperforming everybody. If you're looking to be more of a swing trader, 6-month graph, Target looks good. Also on a swing trade basis, 3-month graph. Both Lululemon and Best Buy look good. And let's put on a 1-month graph real quick. 1-month graph, Lululemon is outperforming. So depending on what your end goals are you trading the stock? Are you swing trading the stock? Are you long-term in your retirement? Depends on what time period you look at to get you that answer. Does that make sense to everybody? Does that make sense? This performance graph can really put you on track with what is working the best based upon what your end goals are. Are you trading the stock? Are you swing trading the stock? Are you long-term investing in the stock? And this performance graph will help you with that. All right, let's go to our next news story. The next news story talks about Alibaba. So Alibaba shares surge in Hong Kong. So we talked about the stuff that was moving in the U.S. Now in Hong Kong, Alibaba shares surge in Hong Kong debut. World's largest listing so far in 2019. Shares of the Chinese e-commerce giant Alibaba saw strong debut in Hong Kong on Tuesday after pricing its shares at 176. Man, 225, 2250 a piece, becoming the world's largest listing so far this year. So if we're going to talk about Alibaba like online, then let's go. Now I'm going to talk about Amazon. So there's Alibaba and then there's Amazon. Let's compare them. Alibaba, overvalued, okay? How about Amazon? Way overvalued. Now, let's look at the stock's upside potential. Both of them are above the value of one. Safeties. Amazon is a little bit more safe than Alibaba. RT, Alibaba is moving up faster than Amazon. And if you look at the total combination of value, safety, and timing, Alibaba may be the better buy. by way of VST, their RV, RSRT combination, and Alibaba is a buy, where Amazon is a hold. Earnings, they both have positive earnings, and Amazon is growing their earnings a little faster or a little bit more than Alibaba, all right? Let's right click. Let's view the stock graph, bring this over. Alibaba, look at that earnings resurging higher than it was a year ago. Had a big pop here and then it depopped. It had a big pop and then depop. That's like Big Papa. Oh, that's a Big Papa right there. Anyway, the earnings per share is definitely moving higher above the 20-day exponential moving average, approaching now the 1-year high on Alibaba, bouncing right off of that 20-day exponential, which is a nice reason why you want to use it. And let's go over to Amazon. Woo! Not nearly as good as Alibaba. Earnings is starting to fall, over the last 3 months. Very interesting. Alibaba might be the better play. Amazon is in a sideways move right now, was in a downtrend, now is in some level of congestion. Let's put on support resistance real quick. Let's change the settings. No, not that. Where's support resistance? Change the style. And I'm going to make this a little bit more clear. Support lines will be red and resistance lines will be green. So I can see where I am as far as support and resistance. Look at that. Amazon is in a channel. Red lines represent support. Green lines represent resistance. And look at that. Look at that. Nice level of 1746 is a level of support. We're right at it right now. But over the last 3 months or so, look at that, over the last 3 months or so, even a little longer than that, the stock is definitely in a sideways channel. And it did go down as low as this low here of 1685, but right now definitely in a sideways move as compared to Alibaba, which is moving up. So in that space, Alibaba looks like the stronger play. Alibaba looks like the stronger play. All right, any questions? All right, any questions? I use the performance graph for comparisons all the time, and Jake, that's why I did the performance graphs on the 5 stores to give me a better feel of which ones were the ones I want, depending on what I was trying to do. Any questions? All right, before we move on to our next story. Going once, going 10 times, going 50 times, gone. All right, let's go to our next story. Next story, best Black Friday holiday gadgets. Can you show how you first click to set up the performance? I could do that in a second. When I get back into it, Jerome, I got you. All right, I got you. All right, so now I felt like this was a little bit of a time to give you a little bit of a feel of some of the best gadgets that are out there in the market. All right. CNBC has tested dozens of new gadgets from the biggest companies over the past few months. So I'm just going to go down and start showing them to you. How many of you own AirPods? And guess what? Hold on, I'm going to show you something. I'm going to put them out there. I don't have AirPods. As much as I love Apple, I don't have AirPods. I have these little, and Apple is doing the same thing. I've got these little pods here. They fit really nicely in my ear, about 30 bucks. All right, and guess what? I'm looking at Apple because these are very popular in different brands all over. And Apple is coming right along with that with their AirPod Pros. So they are moving into where everybody is getting these. And this, I can put this on my wireless charger and charge them. It's great. All right, so just keep that in mind. They are adapting to what's going on in the market as far as the earpieces are concerned. So these are the AirPod Pros. They're a lot smaller than the AirPods. All right, let's scroll down a little bit more. Google Nest Home, Hub Max. Look at that. And this is like FaceTime because only Apple, with my iPad, only Apple has FaceTime. Look at all these. Look at all of the fingerprints Joey put on my iPad. Joey did it. All the fingerprints on my iPad. But this is where you do your FaceTime. And I think a lot of people are trying to get, somebody else has got something called Portal, where a whole lot of people can come in. But Apple set the trend on that. Keep that in mind. Apple set the trend on that with FaceTime, and everybody else is trying to get into this. And this is that Home Hub Max. So scroll down. The Echo. My wife will not let me have an Echo in the house. She thinks that Siri listens to everything that we do, so we can't have one in the house. That makes me sad. But the Amazon Echo is a cool deal. I'll scroll down to iPhone 11. Whew, guess what? I got the iPhone 11 Pro Max. Love my phone. Joey's got, what do you got, Joey?
11.
He's got the 11, but I got the 11 Pro Max. Love my phone. All right, so the iPhone 11 is a great phone. The dog is cuter than Glenn. Wow, that's awesome. All right, let's scroll down. I'm not liking that. There's my Apple Watch. Man, everything Apple that comes up, I got it. There's my Apple Watch. All right, the Apple Watch, the new generation looks really, really good, which is the Series 5. My watch happens to be the Series 3. What do you have?
Series 4.
Joey's got the Series 4. All right, so, wow, Vince says wow, the dog is cuter than, all right, anyway. And then the Amazon Echo Flex. So this is a little Echo that you can plug in. If you want the Echo somewhere where you don't want cords dangling or don't have a counter space, here's the Echo Flex. I think if you like the Echo, this is a great idea, a great gift. You can plug it in wherever you want. If you're in the kitchen cooking, if you're in the bathrooming, you can have the Echo wherever you want it. There's a lot of things you do in the bathroom. So if you're in the bathrooming, and if you want the Echo Dot there, you can put it in the bathroom with you. I think that this is a cool thing right here. So it's called the Amazon Echo Flex. The Nintendo Switch Lite for you kids. You can take your phone and Nintendo, and then you can take that and then put it as part of a gaming system. So it's like a gaming system on a mobile gaming system, which I think is also a cool idea as well. And if you're still reading books online, Amazon again, the Kindle Paperwhite. And one more. Amazon Eero Wi-Fi mesh networking system. I don't know what it is, but it sounded good. And it's a router. It's an Eero router, so I guess it puts your internet all over the place, like in your house, especially if you have a really big house like Joey. You probably need something like that. Like Tupac says, keep your head up. That's right. That's right. Keep your head up. All right, and one last thing, the Anchor Wireless Charger or Mophie 3-in-1 charger. You can charge your iPods, you can charge your AirPods, your watch, and your phone all at the same time. That is a kind of cool deal. So you'll notice a lot of these things came off of Amazon or Apple. So let's go back into the software. Do I not have Apple? There it is. A lot of these were Apple. We already looked at Amazon, but let's take a look at Apple. A lot of these products were Apple products. These are great gadget ideas. That Echo Dot thing that you can plug in everywhere you want, I think that's going to be a killer sell this year. Everywhere you go, if you don't want to carry the box with you, plug it in. I think, and you know something, if you got a lot of people on your list that like, hey, I think they'll like that, you will be somebody's new best friend. Let's go take a look at Apple, a little bit overvalued. The upside potential on Apple, not nearly as good as a lot of the other stocks in my list today, but it is a safe stock and it is moving up. This is the time of the year where Apple will be moving up because a lot of people buying phones, buying iPads, buying the watches. There's a lot of Apple ecosystems pieces of equipment that people will be buying for Christmas. Watch Apple. Keep your eye on Apple. RT tells me that the stock is moving up. Now, earnings are always good on Apple, but with all of their advertising, trying to get Apple TV out, their earnings growth rate is not positive. But I think that with a good holiday season, that number will change back to positive. Let's right-click. Let's view this.
Look at Nintendo too.
I meant to look at Nintendo. Thank you, Joey. Let's go look at Nintendo as well. Joey is right. Nintendo. Was that the only two that was...
You already looked at Amazon.
Oh, one other thing that I wanted to look at, that was there we go. That was a good idea as far as a gift going to be hot this year. Peloton. So I'm going to look at it too. Stock is way overvalued though. Peloton, you see the commercials for those are awesome commercials. Way overvalued. Upside potential not there. I'm looking at this more as a trade for Christmas. Look at the RT on it. Nicely higher. Just keeping that in mind. Apple, we looked at. Nintendo, fairly valued, good upside potential, growing their earnings at 28% a year. Notice that Peloton and Apple both have negative earnings growth, whereas Nintendo's got good earnings growth, good upside potential, good VST. None of these are sell recommendations. All right, let's take a look at their graphs real quick. View the stock graph, bring that over. Again, good ideas of things to buy. A lot of them were Apple devices. I love Apple. All right, now bounce below the level of the 20-day exponential, now bounce back above. Earnings per share, watch this though. Notice the stock's price is moving sideways. What's earnings doing? Be careful with Apple. As much as I love Apple, be careful with Apple at this time because RT is earnings per share is starting to pull back down a little bit. And then if we look at Nintendo, a lot of gappy, a very volatile stock, but clearly above the 20-day exponential, pulling back off its highs. I do have a level of support, though, sitting at $49.90. That's what you're looking for. If you own Nintendo and it's pulling back, let's see if this level of $49.90 will hold. Love the earnings per share on Nintendo, and the last one is Peloton. Relatively a new stock. That's why the fundamentals were not nearly as good. It is still relatively a new stock, but guess what? This is going to be a hot season. A lot of people are going to spend this $4,000 or $5,000 to get into this bike. It's more of selling the people that you're going to watch on this bike more so than the bike itself. It is the experience of owning the Peloton that's going to push this stock's price higher. All right. Anybody got any questions? Mr. Consultant says the Peloton commercials, they say, dropped the stock yesterday. I'm loving those commercials. All right, so I'm not sure. I do like that the stock is moving. Where's the relative timing? The RT is high. That means people are even if you're saying it's dropped the stock, Mr. Consultant, look at that. The stock is in an uptrend. Stock is a hold. Overall, I don't like the earnings and I don't like the earnings growth, but this is definitely a holiday play. Definitely a holiday play. When does the 99-cent special expire? That's probably a Joey question.
I don't know.
Joey doesn't know. You know something? Not me. Give our product support staff a call. Joey, put the number in for them. Give our product support staff a call just to be on the safe side because I don't want to give you bad information, not me. All right? Glenn, do you like Disney musicals? No. All right, let's move on. If there's no more questions, I love the new Peloton commercials where the woman videos herself losing 4 pounds over a year's time. Well, I love that because she documents that she got it, and there was good days, there was bad days where she didn't want to wake up and do it, but overall she was appreciative of it. I happen to really love that commercial. And Kev, you know something? Peloton does trade options. If this is more of the holiday play, I'd rather play the options than to play the stock. I'm with you. That way I don't have to own the stock outright in case it does tank. The options give me a lot less risk to play that trade. I do like it as a holiday trade, especially with RT above 1. Paul, I ain't gonna lie, I agree with you. I agree with you. She didn't need the Peloton, but we're moving on. All right, let's get to our last story. In essence, today, I had a couple of others, but I'm going to leave those out because I want to get directly to medical marijuana. Marijuana stocks, everybody is still talking about how, marijuana stocks are the way to go. I am here to tell you that I don't see how VectorVest backs up that right now. All right, medical marijuana reports quarter 3 results. Net loss of $2.84 million. Revenue was less than on a year-over-year basis. So I don't know, I'm hearing all of this news about how hot marijuana stocks are. I am here to tell you I can't back it up with the VectorVest software. So let's get into that real quick. My last few stocks to take a look at are going to be marijuana stocks. And notice where they are on the list. All of them are at the bottom of my list, which is sorted by VST. So let's bring those all up. And one more, Alfria. Look at them. They're all sell recommendations. So everybody who's talking about how hot marijuana stocks are, I can't see it. These stocks are all sell recommendations. And you know something? Without even analyzing them, the sell recommendations is enough for me. All right? Before I look at all of these stocks, I'm going to take one of these out. Here's all of the stocks. Alfria, GWPH, Hexo, Aurora Cannabis, and Tilray. Let's right click. Let's go look at all of these graphs. All right, let's look at all of these graphs. And the graph's going to tell you a story. Put these on 6 months graphs. No matter what anybody is talking about as far as marijuana, I do like on GWPH over the last 6 months, the earnings have gone from negative to positive. I like that. That's great. But am I ready to pull the trigger on this trade? Is anybody willing to pull the trigger on a GWPH trade right now? Type it in the room. Let's go look. While you're doing that, let's look at the next stock. Hexo. Earnings have gotten weaker over the last 6 months. Next one. ACB, Aurora Cannabis. Earnings have gotten weaker over the last 6 months. Look at where these stocks lie as far as the 20-day exponential moving average. Tilray. Earnings have gotten weaker over the last 6 months. Look at where the stock's price resides compared to the 20-day exponential moving average. Alfria, earnings is right on par where they were 6 months ago. The stock is moving sideways. So if I'm looking at anything, Alfria, but man, earnings per share is falling, even though the earnings per share were the same as they were 6 months ago. Look at the equity curve. Steve said he's going to buy Glenn at Peloton. I don't think he's going to do that. Puts are heavy. I would think about puts. Now, that was the individual stocks. I'm going to look at one ETF that tracks the whole industry, MJ, the ETF MG alter, blah, blah, blah. It's for the whole industry, the whole marijuana industry. Let's view that graph. That's it in itself. This is one ETF that tracks the whole industry. So everybody still wants to talk about marijuana stocks. I'm here to tell you that from the VectorVest perspective, it ain't the right time. It ain't the right time. Is anybody in any of these marijuana stocks right now? Is anybody in any of these marijuana stocks right now? And those telling you how great you are probably a little high. They are mostly sell. I am not talking about any of these. Paul says, some pot experts on CNBC said with all the legal pot being grown, there is an excess inventory. And you know something? There probably is. But the industry as a whole is not where it needs to be as an investor to take advantage of it. Not yet. But I will keep my eye on it for Trending Thursday. When the time is right, I will let you know. And that's where you're going to be able to start to buy low and sell high. So for the most part, folks, that was all of the stocks that I wanted to look at today. We had 19 stocks overall because we added Costco. That was a good call. Whoever told me to add Costco, that was a good call. But these are all of the stocks that we wanted to look at. Now, here we go. Thank you, Joey. Now I'm going to take a little extra time to look at any of the individual stocks that you guys may be interested in to take a look at. Type them into the room now. We got about 9 minutes, so I can make this happen real quick. Out of the 13 I watched, CTST has the most percent price change, is a 79 cents with the value of 105. So maybe best of the bunch, but I am not in any of them. Not yet. I wouldn't put any of them in just quite yet. There you go. So Kev gave me a few stocks, ORC, CLM, SAGE, KRTX, KLAC, HUI. That's for the gold. Gold, thank you for that, Ciborium. IMPUY. That is a great stock right there. Who gave me that? Jay. I'm loving that platinum stock. I love that stock right now. AKS, which do you feel is a better to watch, trend lines or support and resistance? Audie, I'm going to put them both together. And if a stock is above a trend line and breaking above resistance, that's doubly good. I won't put more weight on either or. Whichever one you're comfortable with. But a lot of times, if you're using both, you have to wait for both to hit. You could be leaving some money on the table. So pick one or the other. I like the trend lines because the trend line tells me when the stock is in the trend or breaking out of the trend. I like using the support and resistance, especially when the stock is in a channel and it breaks out. So that's my 2 cents on that. 2 more stocks, ELY, USO. That's for oil. We'll take a look at that one as well. All right, real quick. ORC. Woo! Who gave me that? ORC. Kev. I'm not feeling that right now. I'll put it on a 6-month graph. This stock is definitely moving sideways right now. If you own it, trade it. I wouldn't even trade it off of the moving average, this is something that I would use stochastics on. And watch to see when the stock is in oversold or overbought scenario to help me to get in and out of the stock. Moving averages don't help you really well when the stock is moving sideways. All right, so all I know, Kev, that the stock is moving sideways. I'm not a fan of it right now. I'm not a fan of it right now. Let's see if the stock can break above this level of 592. All right, if it does, it breaks out of resistance, and guess what? It's got a good run up to it, like that 694. Let it get out of this congestion area first, and that's what I'm looking for. But it is definitely in a channel. Good afternoon, Alessandra. Let's go to the next stock, CLM, also in a channel. All right, also in a channel. Resistance at 1139, support at 1105. What I do like about it right now, the stock bounced off another level of support here at 1094. Hammer formation, follow through, break above the 20-day. I like that it bounced off a level of support, currently above the 20-day. If I'm not in it yet, I'd like to see it break above that level of resistance of 1139. All right, if you're in it because you bought it early, you're fine. Leave it alone. If it breaks back below the 20, you might want to think about taking half of the table or pulling the trigger and take the trade off. All right, next one, Sage. First off, don't like the earnings on it. Number two, stock's definitely moving sideways. Number three, good. Gordon Jim, the stock's price fell faster than Joey when he drops a donut to go get it. That's pretty fast. Anyway, I'm not feeling that. That's got to be news driven. Let's go check the news on that. That's got to be news driven. 59%. Biotech investor dilemma. Sage is cratering because its depression treatment failed in a key trial. There it is, news driven. So it had a depression treatment. It got killed because it failed, and that's the tough thing about trading the biomedicals. Kev, was that another stock of yours? Man, and at 60, hopefully you got puts on it, man. Hopefully you got puts on it prior. Actually, in this case, if I knew that the FDA approval was going to come up, I would have played most likely a straddle here, and I would have been making money. And it's in a depression too, I hear that. I would have played a straddle on here knowing that the FDA approval was coming out. I would have been making money on the put side. Impu moved up and now going down with almost no volume. I'll check on that, Joff. Hold on. All right, so that's what I'm thinking about Sage. KRTX, another drug pharmaceutical. I love the rising earnings. It's still negative, but it's getting less negative. But right now it's not the right time. Shooting Star with a bearish Harami follow through. Yeah, I wouldn't be on this stock right now. The stock's price still is above the 20-day exponential moving average, but I'm not thinking about getting in it now. And if you haven't taken profit, you need to possibly think about it. You need to possibly think about it. I do like the rising earnings, but the stock's price action was confirmed by a candlestick formation, and it went down. So I'm not feeling it from that perspective. Clack, on the other hand, bounced off support like that. If I want to get in early, let's see if it can break above the 20-day exponential. If it does, ride it. All right, and take it up to that level of the high, which is going to be your profit target of 179.95, because that's the last level of resistance. Love the earnings per share, but right now coming off of that level of support, moving up, let's see if it can break above that level of the 20-day exponential moving average first. The next one, Huey, the gold bugs. Gold still, for the most part, moving sideways. A little pop on it. All right, we did get a little pop above the 20-day exponential moving average. Actually broke through two levels of resistance, but right now moving sideways. I'd really like to see if gold's got the legs to keep moving higher, or will it stay in this congestion area? Or will it stay? I do like the pop up above the level of the 20-day and breaking through two levels of resistance, but let's go see if it's got legs, all right? Wow, I love this stock. This is beautiful. It's platinum. Platinum is moving. This stock has been a little bit impervious to the market pullbacks. Look at the equity curve. This is the epitome of what you want right there. Anybody trading this stock? I'm curious to know. Actually, I think I jumped into it for the Jockey Club today. But this is exactly what you want. That's a beautiful looking equity curve. Holy smokes. I love this equity curve. Look at the earnings. Look at the level of the 20-day exponential moving average serving as a great level of both support and trend. Both support and trend. I like this. And if there's somebody out there not trading it, all I say is just consider it. And make sure you buy higher than the high that ensures that you're buying into a rising stock. All right, the next stock, AK Steel, a little bit of a down day today, above the 20-day exponential moving average. It does have some downside from this high, at least to this level of support of 288. All right, unless it's to that level of 288. Jay says it's a pink sheet. You did not, I placed the order later after the Jockey Club. I got into it. I got into it after we closed down the Jockey Club, Jay. I talked to Steve and I said, I want that stock. He said, trade it then. I got into IMPUY after we closed the Jockey Club this morning. Looks are not necessarily everything. See how much sold? I hear you. Look at that earnings per share on AK Steel. Earnings doesn't look good, and the stock does have downside at least to that level of 288, at least to 288. I didn't look at EMPH, Janik. I'll see if I still have time. I'm pushing the bar right now. Has AKS been acquired? Not that I know of, Rajiv. I didn't know that they were being acquired. Put this on. That's a 6-month graph. I didn't hear about them being acquired. I haven't seen that in the news, so I don't know. All right. Callaway Golf. I play golf. But the stock's in a channel. Here's the level of support sitting at 2022. The level of the high is at 2154 in a channel. It is above the 20-day exponential moving average. I do like the earnings per share. Right now, though, because it's so close to resistance, let's see if it can break above that level of resistance first. And one more stock, USO Oil, another stock or another industry that's in the level of a channel. It broke above that level of resistance today at 1223, and now where is it at? It's back below it, back into the channel. So there we go. All right, and one more stock. I will do one more stock, EMPH, and then we got to go. EMPH, setting up as a pullback. Downtrend has been broken. All right, it did have downtrend from the high. Downtrend has been broken. Higher highs, lower highs has been broken moving up, but I need to see some confirmation behind the move. Here's a level of resistance. I got to get past that level of resistance before I go buy into it, but the stock is down today. Stock is down today. Rusty, I'm sorry, my friend. I cannot look at that stock. I'm right at 3 o'clock, my friend. So every week when we do these, always come prepared with stocks. I'm going to try to look at as many of them as I can. Cliff is buying AK Steel, says Robert. All right. So, you know, I didn't see that as a news story, but that might be something that I pick up for next week, Robert. I may look at that. Write that down. Cliff and AK Steel. And if it is, if I can corroborate that story, let's take a look at that next week, Robert. I appreciate that. And with that, folks, I'm done. I do want to talk about, don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. Still, for all of you who were new, sorry about the technical things we had going on today, but at least, hopefully, if you've got some good information out of what we've done today, don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. Especially comment on the videos once Joey puts them up. Go back and look at some of our old videos. If you like them, by all means, make sure that you comment on them. All right, and oh, that's for me. Joey wrote down Cliff buying AK Steel. I want to take a look at that. All right, so you guys are awesome. Thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting this. And don't forget to be here every week. And for those of you who are new, I want you to come back, number one. Number two, every week, bring some stocks. Bring some stocks so at the end of the presentation, we can look at them. With that, folks, adios, arrivederci, ciao, au revoir, sayonara. See you all tomorrow. Later.